Big City 101.3 FM, waking up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard. These are unorthodox conversations we have every day. This isn't a once in a while, sometimes when something happens. We have these conversations every day. Every day. Good rising, good rising. There's so much to talk about. So much going on. So much emotion, so much anger, so much frustration. I can't even say hate, because hate, there would be riots in the streets, but it's frustration. It's like, what the hell are we supposed to do? What do you want from us? What do you want me to do? What's the answer? What's the solution? We ain't got the answers, right? Really quickly, Lord have mercy. Just first and foremost, Keith Lamont Scott. I read the story yesterday about the man who got out of his vehicle with a gun, because that's what report said, right? Report said he got out the vehicle with a gun. There was two separate videos. One video of the sister, and this is background video. This isn't even on-air video. This isn't even live footage video. This is somebody's cell phone video. So the first video shows the sister of Keith Lamont Scott, Charlotte, North Carolina, yelling and screaming at the top of her lungs, telling the police, y'all ain't gonna tell my brother's story. Y'all ain't gonna tell my brother's story. What he was doing was his routine, what he does every single day. He goes out to his car, he reads his book. When the sun is out, he goes and sits underneath the shade, and he waits for his daughter to come home. So there's a woman who, the second video is of a woman who was sitting there like, listen, I saw the whole thing, the entire thing. Long story short, he did not die at the hospital. She claims it. I went ahead and posted a video on Instagram. She claims that he did not die at the hospital. They shot him 4 or 5 times, left him there, went and convened with one of the, it was a white officer that shot him 4 or 5 times. A black officer came to the scene, started doing CPR on him, and she said she watched the life leave him. She watched life leave him. She said he struggled, and then it was no more. She watched life. Do you know the amount of trauma that you go through by watching somebody die? My granny was 104 years old. Great-grandmother, 104. Do you know how traumatic it was to know that she's dead? Your auntie died at 82 years old. Well, she lived 82 years. She lived a good life. It's still traumatic. Could you imagine actually watching somebody shot, having to take their last breath? The trauma that one experiences. The entire neighborhood. And I don't know, baby. I don't know. People are angry. People are frustrated. Where's the solution? Actor Isaiah Washington wants black people to stay home to fight police brutality. The actor suggests that if all black people stay home and cripple the economy, the issue of police brutality will finally get the attention that it deserves. He said, imagine if every single African American in the United States, and that goes for you Latinos, that goes for you West Indians, and don't think for 5 seconds just because you're from Jamaica, Trinidad, Tobago. We don't know. Just like they didn't know that man that was in the middle of the road that got shot. I can't remember names no more. I'm not even remembering names no more. I give up on remembering names, because this is too many in too short of a time, and I have yet to hear my president say anything. But you want to sit here and promote and back Hillary Clinton? We have super predators because of her. I'm done. Imagine if every single Isaiah Washington, African American in the United States, and that goes for every single last one of you with melanin, that was really fed up with being angry, sad, disgusted, would pick one day to simply stay home from every single job, from every work site, from sports arenas. Ain't the Patriots playing today? Let's see who takes some knees. government offices in the United States of America. I'm very sure that within 72 hours from Wall Street to the NFL, Black Lives Matter, and they would matter. On September 26, 2016 is the day, is the time. We can do it. A call to action. Hands up, don't shoot, missing 24. Y'all ready for the 26th? For next Monday? Y'all gonna do it? Probably not. Probably. I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired. Alright, don't go to work on Monday. Well, what had happened was I needed my check. You ain't that tired. The law will not go into effect until October 1st, but Charlotte Mecklenburg police officer Kerr Putney already said Wednesday the footage will not emerge anytime soon because it would have a negative impact on the integrity of the case. No, it won't. Just like we saw Walter Scott get shot in the back and the police officer try to plant the evidence. That footage was released. That didn't ruin the integrity. What it did is it told the truth. It told the whole truth. But you know what? I have good news. I have good news. We have a little baby. You know I love the babies. That's a chica. She definitely is. I read a story about her a few weeks back. And I'm so proud that she's back in the news. Where's my little baby at? Who has her own books, came out with... I know I just had it. Over here reading nonsense, that's why. Here she is. Marley Diaz, the 11-year-old middle schooler behind 1,000 Black Girl books, lands her dream job at Al when Marley Diaz launched her 1,000 Black Girl books social media campaign last year to collect books featuring Black girls as main characters. She didn't expect to exceed her goal of 1,000 books. But with the efforts of others, she drew up more than 7,000 books so far, and of course the media's attention. Marley wound up a guest on the Ellen DeGeneres show and later got to meet Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama. I am so proud of my baby. She was sick and tired and frustrated of main characters in books that she had to read for school being filled with white boys and their dogs. Now the 11-year-old from West Orange has made an editor-in-residence for Elle.com, which on Monday launched Marley Mag. I'm so excited. Which is her very own little piece of the magazine. When you see characters you can connect with, if they learn a specific lesson, you're more likely to apply that in your life, she told media. And I'm so proud of her. She is a 6th grader at Thomas A. Edison Middle School, and she said that her ultimate goal was to edit her own pop culture and lifestyle magazine. Get it, baby. Get it. 11 years old. Teach the babies. Let them learn, because they have the answers. Dangerous levels of cancer-causing toxins. You remember the movie Erin Brockovich with, oh Lord have mercy, what a girl, Julia Roberts. The movie with Julia Roberts was based on a true story of Erin Brockovich. She fought against cancer-causing carcinogens in water, and it is found that that same element that she was fighting against to cure the fact that the whole town was sick, had all types of cancers, it is currently drunk by 218 million Americans. Chromium-6 has been found at dangerous levels in water in every state. Can you hear me? Good rising, Kamal. What's going on, cuzzo? Chromium-6, every state. Scientists say that 0.02 is a threshold which it begins posing a cancer risk. The level in Phoenix is almost 400 times that amount. Erin Brockovich fought a power company accused of leaking the chemical into tap water supplies in California in the 90s, and now in 2016, every state has been found to have chromium-6, dangerous levels of chromium-6, which is a cancer-causing carcinogen, at dangerous levels in every state. Every state. And y'all think I'm out here crazy for filtering my water. Y'all think I'm crazy for being mindful about what kind of food that I feed my children. Y'all need to start reading the back of some labels. I went ahead and posted the other day. I swear the thing went viral. The fact that in your juice, in most of your juices, you have beetle juice. Oh no, I don't mean the movie. I mean you have actual beetle blood. You have actual beetle urine, beaver urine, all types of animal everything. That even the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, allows certain amount of maggots and rat hairs in your peanut butter, tomato sauce. There was another one that I eat on a regular basis that completely disgusted me. Can't think about it right now. But if you don't believe me, please do your due diligence. They put, there is a certain amount of fly, larva, nastiness, rat feces that's allowed in your food. It's allowed in your peanut butter. It's allowed in your tomato sauce. If you do your due diligence, you'll find it's allowed in many other things. Because, we can, somebody said natural flavor. We can't control the fact that rats are real. We can't kill all the rats, so you might get a few drop-ins. We're sorry, but the FDA said it's okay because it didn't exceed the amount. But what is exceeding the amount is the dangerous levels of cancer-causing toxins that 218 million Americans drink. Ain't that America? Oh, my freak. Y'all think I'm out here crazy as hell. People thought I've been crazy for years. You know that? For years. It had nothing to do with me being crazy. It had nothing to do... I was educated. I decided a long time ago I was going to educate myself because nobody taught me in school the right and wrongs of what really goes on in this world. I started reading, and reading some more. You want to know why? Because it's not illegal anymore. Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan pledged $3 billion to wipe out all diseases by the end of the century. I'm sorry, are you Jesus? Did you die and come back as Jesus? Because even Jesus didn't cure everybody. How do you think $3 billion is going to wipe out all diseases by the end of... Are we all going vegan? Are you paying for us to plant non-genetically modified seed? Are you paying for us to have non-Monsanto food? Is that what's happening? Are we going vegan? Are we going back to the earth? Are you going to teach us how to grow our own food? Because I don't see how your $3 billion is going to wipe out all the diseases by the end of the century unless we're all getting some type of vaccine. Oh, this looks like a Will Smith movie where everybody else dies. And then he's the only one trying to find a vaccine and a cure for zombies. I'm good. I'm good. Zuckerberg and Chan have committed $3 billion over the next 10 years. They hope it will help accelerate scientific research to lead to new tools. The goal is to cure, prevent, and manage all diseases within the next 80 years. Y'all get that shot if you want to. I'm going to go back to the farm and go pick up my vegetables. Y'all crazy. Hell nah. $3 billion just gonna cure all diseases, huh? I see you. I understand that you're trying to do the right thing, or at least on the surface, that's what it looks like. But baby, first and foremost, you are not Jesus. You are not a Capricorn. Shout out to the Capricorns. We are the first and the last alphas and omegas. And second of all, it don't work like that. It does not work like that. There's other factors that need to be discussed except for you throwing money at scientific research. The science is already there. The research is already there. We need to stop with 218 million? Yeah, 218 million Americans drinking chromium-6. I'm sorry, I didn't get that memo. Maybe we can stop that from going into our bloodstream and creating cancers. Maybe the fact that our food is genetically modified has less nutrients. People are over here eating high fructose corn syrup. We are more addicted to sugar than anybody addicted to crack. Cocaine, heroin. Yeah, you are an addict. If you eat on a regular basis high fructose corn syrup, if you don't even know what high fructose corn syrup is, you're probably addicted and don't even know it. If you drink soda, you're addicted to high fructose corn syrup. If you drink half of the juices out here labeled juice, you're addicted to high fructose corn syrup. If you eat candy on a regular basis, you're addicted to high fructose corn syrup. Cereal, high fructose corn syrup. My kids are like, Mommy, I can't eat anything, can I? Nope. Let's go get these vegetables. And one more time for reiteration, Connecticut State Police, Staties in Connecticut, we think it's a Southern thing. Only in the South do they have those problems. We ain't got these problems up north. Connecticut State Police caught on camera fabricating evidence against a protester. I read the story yesterday. I'm going to read it again. Because this nonsense is ridiculous. Ridiculous. You can't think for 5 seconds that what did my baby say, Cheryl Underwood? She said there are good police officers out here. We have to recognize that. We have to realize that. But at the end of the day, we also need to recognize and realize that there's a problem out here. And my baby said, I'm scared to drive. Oh, if you didn't catch it, let me go ahead and play it for you real quick. And then I know it's time to do that thing called Power Hour. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Listen to my baby Cheryl Underwood. I promise you, the hairs on the back of my neck, on my arm stood up while listening to her because I feel her pain. I feel her frustration. I feel her anger. And enough is enough.
When they took her out of the car, they gently removed what looked like a cell phone and gently handcuffed her. If that had been a black man, he would have been face down on the pavement without 1 second of conversation. We have to change how we see each other. And we cannot do that until we say what it is, which is that racism and fear of black men specifically drives these shootings. We have to change as a nation.
Look, fundamentally, I know we gotta go to break, but first thing you gotta do, you gotta make it a hate crime. You gotta put people in jail. When you shoot somebody under the color of authority, you need...
Baby, are you on the line?
Sure am.
Okay, I just wanted to check because I got the email. I'm going to pull you up.
Okay.
Police officers out there, and the ones that are not, they need to go to jail. They need to go to jail. And don't tell me this. We got to train. Y'all white. Y'all drive all the time until nothing happened to y'all. And we black. And I'm afraid to drive my damn car because if they don't know who I am, I could be shot. Until y'all feel that, this ain't never gonna stop. Until you all that are not black people and stand with us, this is not going to stop.
Can you feel her pain? Do you hear her frustration? That's how I felt when I did that Facebook Live video about Anari as a black man. What am I supposed to tell my black man? 13 years old. How am I as a parent supposed to direct him? To comply? You still die. Hands up? You still die. Listen to everything that they say. Do not make a sudden move. You still die. T.I. has a new song out called Warzone. Have you heard it? When I tell you revolution music ain't your granny's revolution music, but it is coming back. And people are waking up. Wake Up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. It's Power Hour, y'all. And we have Maj Toure. I might be saying that wrong. Toure or Toure. He is a solutionary hip hop artist and an activist from North Philly. He founded Black Guns Matter movement in 2015 to advocate for the Second Amendment, education, and information for urban communities. Maj has been featured in the New York Times, National Public Radio, and other news. And guess what? He's here live with us today. Good rising, my love. How are you? I'm super fantastic. So please tell us a little bit about yourself, some background on who you are and where and why you founded and started in 2015 Black Guns Matter.
Well, for one, I'm from North Philly, and too many of my homies was going to jail for the same charge. And a lot of times it would be possession, simple possession of a firearm. And then when you start to do a little bit of knowledge, you go, well, everyone's supposed to have a firearm. It's a tool. And then starting to see that, a lot of times in our area, it's marketed. Firearms are marketed different. It's marketed as if, you're out of law enforcement or you're either the bad guy. So seeing that and then seeing it, my homies catching the same case, they spending all this money and they just missing information. So I started to present them with people would ask me, and I would give them information in different cities. So we recognized that there was, opportunity here to create something that could help people a lot, and then it wound up turning into Black Guns Matter.
And what kind of information, can we share that information today with our listeners? Like, what were you telling your homies? Because we have a lot of homies here in Boston that, guns are taken off the street every day, but we don't know how to obtain them legally. And we have laws here in the city of Boston that do not allow us to open carry or conceal carry. What is the law called? We have like a red law, or we're really strict in the city of Boston. But outside the city, there's very lax laws. But inside the city, it goes across the police commissioner's desk, and we interviewed him. He feels as if every single registered gun holder, like, he thinks he's the Constitution. He has the right to deny or to allow you to have a gun. So in Philly, what are you teaching men and women about Black Guns Matter?
Well, the first thing we do is try to get them familiar with the laws, because most of them are based in, racist policies. So in order to break it, you got to train people about it. And a lot of cities, especially Philly, just like Boston, they'll create laws that supersede, not even laws, they'll create statutes that supersede state law, which is unconstitutional. It's illegal. You cannot they'll do it anyway, though, because it's called preemption. They'll make a law in a city, an ordinance in a city that is the opposite of the state's law. So, for example, in Philadelphia, even though Pennsylvania is an open carry state, you cannot open carry in Philadelphia because they rule it because it's a city of the first class, meaning it has more than 1 million people. They'll just make a different rule. Now, even though it is illegal because it violates the state constitution, unless a citizen from that city, like Boston, gets arrested with their guns, fights the case all the way up to the Supreme Court to get that law overturned or that statute overturned, it'll sit on the books.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I just want to for you to reiterate. Because we have statutes and ordinances, and I'm not well versed in law, but the difference between a statute and an ordinance is what?
Well, a statute and an ordinance are kind of like, for the general public, they're kind of like little rules. They're not, you can get a summons. Like, for example, it's almost like the difference between illegal and unlawful. When you do something unlawful, you break a code, a written rule that people kind of just said, hey, we're going to do this. This is the rule now. It becomes illegal when the thing that you do affects someone else's personal property or their physical well-being. So under that same thought process, when you have a statute or an ordinance, a city makes a rule, right, that they just want to go by just here. And it may not be in alignment with that same state's constitution, okay? The problem with that is the state's constitution in each individual state being its own sovereign entity, that is the law of the land for the state, okay? Now, things can be, so it's a law or it's an ordinance, something that you follow just because we say this is kind of how we want to roll, this is how we want to rock. It's like a lighter law. It's like a law light, if I'm paraphrasing. The problem with that is, one, they just make them. That's obvious. And two, they may not be constitutional, state constitutional, or even, country constitutional, American constitution. But a lot of times, because local politics is so powerful, and it's very important for you to, on the city and state level, because really what city and state that you live in, the United States of America, is each little one, country, for lack of a better term. Okay? When people are well-versed in gun laws and know that most gun control, quote-unquote, comes from, newly enslaved, newly freed African people in America, slavery, most gun laws, even down to the state and city level, are offshoots of, hey, black people just gained their independence. We're afraid because we were just whipping them. Now they're citizens. Now we have to make sure that they don't have the same means to defend themselves that we have. That's what all gun control laws come from. When cities create these ordinances and statutes, and even if they make it to city law, what happens is people abide by them not knowing the root of them, and more than likely these things are unconstitutional. The problem is people don't know them, and then two, Because they don't know them, they can't fight them. When they're informed and when they're organized, they can fight and overturn these things. Like in the city of New York, I think in 2014 is what they did with in Brooklyn with stop and frisk. Okay, it was deemed that stop and frisk, which was an ordinance, a statute, something that the government, local government could do. The people took that to court, and the judges, they found that that's a violation of constitutional rights. I'm standing here, you can't just stop and frisk me just because I look quote unquote suspicious. That's a violation.
Yeah.
So if people wouldn't have been aware of that, they just was irritated because cops kept doing it. If people wouldn't have been irritated about what that was, they wouldn't have been able to fight because they wouldn't have even known that they could. And that's what we find overwhelmingly with gun laws, specifically in the urban areas.
617-282-0062. We're on the line with Maj Toure. Baby, am I saying it right? Toure?
Toure, yep.
Toure, okay. With Maj Toure out of Philly. And we're learning about Black Guns Matter. How does one become versed in something that is never presented to us? We are never presented with civics. That's why it was taken out of schools. We're never presented with laws. The only law that you might see is in Monopoly, when you have to go straight to jail, don't pass go, and you don't get a paycheck, and you have to pay excise tax. Like that's how I learned about laws. It was Monopoly. So how does one become well versed in law and gun laws if we don't even know where to begin?
The first thing is everybody that's listening probably has a smartphone. Now, get rid of Candy Crush off your phone.
Thank you.
Google and the city laws, the city gun laws for wherever you live at, right in the mirror. And then you should also get with, this is what we do at Black Guns Matter. We link people with those reputable people in their neighborhood. Because when we come to a city, we're going to Chicago next. When we come to a city, we're going to leave. I'm going to come back to Philly. I'm going to get back on my block. You got to get on your block. You got to inform. You got to link up with reputable people and create a consistent regimen of diet of study. So the first thing is get rid of Candy Crush. Focus and learn about the laws in your land. Link with, if you need to hit me up, I'll link you with some people in whatever city you're in. Anybody that's in Boston right now, when you want to hit me on social media, I'll find the answer or lead you in the direction of somebody that has the answer. But if I'm not around, you need to find out whatever city you're in, type in gun laws in Boston. Read them, study them. They try to make it seem as if it's very complicated, but it's not. Because if it was very complicated, they wouldn't have felt the need to take it out of the classes. They take it out of the classes because people can actually learn this stuff and defend themselves and maintain and expand on their rights. The people. See, these people are very strategic and they're very cunning. So they'll try to just remove the information because it's out of sight, it's out of mind. You have to put it back in your mind. The first step to that is you need to be in Google researching your city's gun laws. You need to get well versed in them by reading them. You need to link up with people that are well versed and share the information. Then you need to make it plain. Okay, how much does it cost to apply for a concealed carry license in my city? Why does my city not have constitutional carry? My state. What does constitutional carry mean? It means this is a particular state where you don't have to have a permit to carry your firearm because it's a constitutional right. There's 11 states. Missouri was the one that just got transferred over to a constitutional carry state last week. Point is, you have to start to inform yourself with the tools that you have around. You have to link up with organizations like Black Guns Matter and get information. It's never going to bug us. It's never going to bug us. We're going to send you the information. We're going to make sure I'm going to check, but I'm personally going to check back on you and say, yo, what was up with that thing that you researched? How did you find out? How did that work out for you? So that's the thing. We can't, at a certain point, we got to break that victim mentality. You know what I'm saying? And it's a balance. We got to hold people accountable for what they're doing because they are doing it. It's not an accident. It's not an oops. It's not as rare as a Bill O'Reilly would say. It's happening actively, period. Just like Cheryl Underwood just said. It's happening. Since we know that it's an organized phenomenon designed based on distrust of melanin, lack of spirituality, who cares? It's happening. You have to now equally be individually responsible for your own individual decisions and choices with every tool at your arsenal in every area of human activity. If you're not doing that, you kind of just complaining, and then you're saying they, and you're taking your own power away from yourself. You can break their power with your choices. And as far as guns go, get with Black Guns Matter, get informed, stop hiding behind, oh, I can't mess with that because that's only for white people, that's only for rich people, that's only for, get out of that mentality. I'll help you. And that's the first step.
Well, before we go to the second step, one of the questions that we have, because we're actually Facebook Live as well as currently on YouTube Live, one of the question is whether or not federal law and state law can supersede one another. And in states, have you found in Philly whether or not you can have a medical marijuana card and your gun license?
Really new. In some states, I'm noticing that they're saying no. They on the fringes are trying to break that now. They on the fringes are saying, well, if you got a medical marijuana card, you can't have a license. That's just another infringement. That's not, you know what I mean? So that's an early rumble, you know. But to me, I clearly think that's unconstitutional because if I have a medical need for marijuana, are you saying because I have a medical issue that I'm no longer canceled from my constitutional right? That's a clear violation. But that's what they do. They try to trip you up with these little things. So no, it's early in the fight. So that part of it, I'm not sure. I don't want to miss that because again, we're in different cities. First of all, marijuana is just decriminalized under certain amounts in Philadelphia. It is not
Massachusetts too.
for people that are over a certain age. So it's not decriminalized completely in Philly. So that's early in the fight for Philly. So I hope that answers that for them. But
it does, and we too have the same laws as Philly does. We have anything under an ounce, you basically get a $100 ticket, but cops are less likely to bother you. But our black men, I feel, still need to be protected because that's just another reason for them to, well, you had this and you had that, and something that could be for personal is, oh, you were distributing, so.
Exactly what it is. See, what it is that's the beauty of encroachment. I'm just waiting right around the fringes. As soon as that snap hit, I can just jump you. You know what I mean? The blitz comes. But the reality is, we're the people. You shouldn't even be trying to blitz us. Period. End of discussion. You work for us. We don't work for you. And that's the mentality we kind of got to get back to. So yeah, the medical marijuana, I smoke. Me personally, I smoke. Obviously I don't do it when I'm shooting. But you're allowed to have multiple interests and have your right to, defend yourself. These are human rights. You know what I mean? If you can't tell me that, for years marijuana was this horrible thing. Now that guys, states are taking their power back and saying, we as a state of Colorado want this to be legal. And that is revenue being generated off of it. Now it's looking like, this is a tax base. But now all of a sudden, you got friends of mine that's doing football numbers for 100 pounds of weed, but these guys at GlaxoSmithKline is about to set up to make billions, but my homie's still behind the wall. You know what I mean? So we can clearly see the contradiction there, and they're trying to apply that same contradiction on multiple levels, specifically with the Second Amendment, because people in the hood are very uninformed about it, and that is the one amendment that secures all of the other rights, human rights. Now we ain't even talking just about the Constitution. If I wanna smoke, and if the police say you don't have the right to smoke, if they wanted to try to attack my personal human right to choose, and if they got firearms and I don't, I cannot defend my personal beliefs. That's why this part is so important. That's why the hood got to get behind that. See, I see the game. They try to create a space where the hood don't be aware because the hood is the tipping point. The hood, us being informed, thorough, now is no longer, we just shooting at each other. If you try to be a tyrant and you're a tyrannical government, we have the constitutional and human right to defend ourselves. They don't want it being behind that. And like DJ Khaled say, they don't want you to, they don't want you to defend yourself. But we're going to defend ourselves. We're going to be well-versed in every area of human activity and expand on our right to exist.
I love that. They don't want us to know our rights. They don't want us to have our gun license. So in Philly, how many people have you registered or helped get their gun license so far?
I'm not a fan of lists. My team tell me that all the time. My Jewish homies, they told me stories of how their grandparents was on a list. Slavery, which is Black Americans and enslavement in America, is the worst type of slavery that has ever existed on the planet. The Holocaust and the Mafia, that was lists. So I'm easy with lists. I don't even, my team be trying to tell me, yo, man, we have a lot of members of XY. Look, whoever come up and want to get the work done, cool, that's great. You know what I mean? All of the people that go down to the academy, my DMs, yo, this is the town that you can go to, in your town, and this is how you can get licensed. I don't even know. All I know is I changed the mentality of those people, and then they start changing other people's mentality. So I don't know, because I don't want the things that I'm doing. And I'm gonna be easy when I say this because I believe in the power of words. However, the things that I'm doing traditionally have been legal. These are legal things. The minds that we're changing traditionally, we know what happened to Malcolm.
What do we do, Levon?
Other members that were fighting for their, so I'm easy on how I move. I'm aware that there's people out there that want disharmony as opposed to unity. I'm aware that, people want chaos because they get money off of the chaos in our community, and they gangsters. So I'm not pretending in any way, shape, or form because I'm doing something legal that I'm probably on somebody's list now. I don't give a shit. I don't really care, but I'm easy on lists because I can deal with what I'm dealing with, but I don't want to put anybody else in harm's way. So
I got you. Absolutely. So really quickly, I'm going to go through these Facebook Live comments. TaylaAndre, if you are on Facebook Live, or if you want to give a call in, Black Guns Matter, 617-282-0062. Good rising to all of those just saying, hey, y'all be easy on the highway. Good morning, Primas. The color of authority. Look up the color of authority as defined by Henry Camel, Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Statutes and ordinances are not law. Law and legal are not the same. Slaves can't own guns. Shout out to everybody who's loving the Boston shirt, 3 for the stripes. I believe Boston gun law doesn't allow you to also hold a medical marijuana card and a gun license. Before they learn gun laws, they need to learn status. Calling yourself black places you in a stateless category. Hence, you need a permission from the state to carry a firearm. Whereas with a nationality, you are self-governing and can enforce the Constitution and have the right to bear arms. We need to read and study the Christian black codes. It lays it all out. So, okay, in regards to status, is that we consider ourselves the status that the government gives us at birth, or that's because claiming the status black, you don't have human rights until you declare a nationality. Read Article 15 of the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. We first have to read. Shout out to Miss G. My thoughts are, we are black people of the United States. We need to arm ourselves. Deja said, Levon, would we change our status with all national governments or with the UN? So I guess this is a question. I'm going to go ahead and reach out to David Johns. He's the closest to the president that we have connections to. We'll reach out to David Johns and see if we can get something as far as nationality is concerned, and human rights versus civil rights. But as far as Black Guns Matter and being in Philly and educating your boys and the people in the streets on how they can protect and arm themselves, what about those that have already, and you mentioned this earlier, people that are doing dinosaur numbers for a little bit of weed, but yet we have pharmaceutical companies coming out here making billions of dollars on legalizing, selling, growing marijuana when our dude's been doing this for years. So for those that have cases, for those that, and a felon, in certain drug cases, people are now felons, and a felon can't have a gun in the household. So if the wife never committed a crime a day in her life, but the husband went to jail back in 99 for a drug charge and they gave him a felony, now she can't have a license to carry in her home. She can't have a gun in her home, period.
Can't be around it. depending on each city, state, and all those different things, because it's different. In certain cases, it's different. That's the key component.
Hi, Tom.
In certain cases, that's why I urge, and I'm not trying to, play anybody. I urge everyone to look up their local situation because, Boston and Pennsylvania are both Commonwealth. So they may have very similar, Massachusetts and Pennsylvania common law.
I
So
love how
very
they say
similar
Massachusetts.
situations, but it may not be in a different state. But in most instances, what I do in them spaces is, one, first of all, I'm not telling anybody in the street to not have a burner. I'm never saying that. You know what I mean? So they know the game that they're playing. They know what they're doing, and they know all I can ask is that they be safe around, at least in their home with their children, and secure that firearm properly. Because all it takes, whether you're in the streets or not, your child don't know that. Your child can gain access to that firearm, and it's a tragedy. So the first thing is, I tell those guys, look, at least figure out the lockbox situation. If you need to know where to get one, if you know how to secure your phone, I'll show you. So that's that. Two, as far as the women I tell the homies all the time, look, your girl is clean. Get her down, get her license to carry. Because even if there's guns in the house and if she owns them, you know what I mean, you have at least some sort of, if a case get caught, there's at least some sort of, backing for yourself. She's licensed to carry. This is the lockbox, X, Y, and Z. This is my lady. That changes the dynamic, and you can even communicate with lawyers and to create a paper trail for yourself, just in case. That's what prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
Repeat that, baby. Repeat that. I need to tweet that. You might need to repeat it 2 times.
Yeah, prior planning prevents piss poor performance. You know what I mean? So I'm never of the victim mentality. Even if you caught a felony, and if you got that thing, there's still things that you can do to be safe. You still should get, basic shooting courses. Because if you're in the street and you having a shoot up, you need to, have mediation with homies and say, listen, we not with this innocent bystander thing. There needs to be certain, in your house you might have a peaceful room. Ain't no arguing in this room. In the street there needs to be peaceful areas. Look, we're not going to do this over here. There needs to be a code of conduct. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell nobody that that's making $100,000 every 2 months off of the street. And if I'm not giving them $100,000 every 2 months off the street, I'm not going to tell them to get out of that game right now. Not right now. What I'm going to do is say redirect some of that money to the hood. If you trust me and what I'm doing, support some of these things. Let's build these things here so that you can transition out of that game. That's what I'm going to say. And I'm not going to tell those guys, hey, it's crazy, just be crazy and reckless out here. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say because we from the same cloth and y'all know y'all know what I'm about. At the end of the day, how can we turn this into a situation where our community is still safe? Well, we actually run the hood, So, and I think that's the big difference between Black Guns Matter and a lot of Second Amendment organizations. We speak from the gutter. So I'm not going to tell somebody in the gutter in a present situation. I'm just trying to get them something to add to their situation. You know what I mean? I'm not judging them negatively. So we got to make sure that we're on top of that. As far as the brother talking, with the nationality thing, I feel him. Again, words are incantations. I'm highly spiritual. Right?
Yes, I love him.
The people that shooting us don't give a damn what your nationality is. They're looking at your skin color. And I understand the
Did y'all hear him now? Did you hear that?
And all that. But the reality is also this. If I'm a citizen of America, and I know people say we're not citizens, we're innocents, all of these different things, the reality is the most easily accessible one right now is the one that we're under in the sense of the American Constitution. Now, if that's not the thing, then we need to force their hand and say, well, you guys aren't actually citizens. Okay, cool. Then we can go from there. But as far as your constitutional right to carry, if you got an ID, you're a citizen. If that's the case, then we're going to exhaust those laws that we have right available. You know what I mean? I have a lot of Moorish friends and Washita friends and those that have sovereign license plates, all of that. A lot of times you run into law enforcement officers that don't know the law. They just know this isn't a state-issued driver's license. You know what I'm saying? And that's a rumble that you rumble in court, no doubt. So I want to say to that brother, I understand what he's saying. And
LeVon, he's talking to you.
If we can streamline that process, I'm going to help him line people up for that too. But we have to be all of the areas And the general public, you know, they already in a particular matrix. We want to show them how to bend that matrix to their will. You know what I mean?
I love you. I love you, Maj. I love you. When you said words are incantation, I died. I died. Because you don't understand, we're so lost when it comes to our religion, when it comes to our spirituality. A lot of us have no clue at all. And I thank you for having the knowledge that you do. And as far as Levon is concerned, if you can help us, like he said, streamline that process, I'd love to help others as well with their nationality and sovereignty or whatever it is that can help us. One of my favorite things that you said is when you said you're from the gutter, you know these streets, you're not going to tell anybody, you know, what makes you different from other Second Amendment groups. I love it. Like, 617-282-0062. I know we have callers on lines 2 and 3. Give us a call back. 617-282-0062. As far as gun laws are concerned, what do you think about these gun laws? The fact that it's promoted like, you know, we need more gun control, we need more laws, we need more this, we need more that, in order to ensure your safety.
It's game. I'm telling y'all right now. I know. I be quietly in rooms that you know what I mean? It's game. It's game. It's a lie. It's not about gun control. It's about people.
I'm coming over your house, Miss G.
You know what I mean? I say this all the time in interviews. Hitler was democratically elected, and he convinced the people that the the government would protect them. And we see how that whole, you know, Hitler Holocaust Jew thing happened. You know what I mean? So it's game. And it's a slow game. That's how it's like an interest rate. When you get the car, they say, oh, you only got to put a certain amount down. They're jerking you for almost half the price of the car over time. Because you're thinking hand to mouth. You're thinking too short term. And they win because they thinking 40, 50 years down the line. You know what I'm saying? So that's game. It is game. It's a lie. It's a sham. They are trying to encroach on your human right to defend self and defend your choices. Because violence is politics by a different means. Once the diplomacy ends up, and we can't discuss this no more, countries go to war over the things that their politics, their interests. They want to secure, maintain, and expand their interests.
I can't proofread it, but I'll definitely share it, because I'm not the one you want proofreading anything.
If you don't have the bigger war chest, you lose. You know, so our politics is our politics. We want to raise our babies. We want to eat good. We want to start. We want to learn. We want to develop our community, and we're going to do that. The unfortunate part is, in order for certain people to have a monopoly on a lot of the money and resources, they don't want to give it up. You know, so because of that, to keep people, it turns into a major redistribution of wealth on a positive tip. Y'all was hoarding a lot of the wealth. When we start making different decisions, some of that money and resources that comes and stays in our community. We build that community up. So that instead of that guy having $10 trillion, now he has to have 5. Even though 5 is enough. But his ego and his Napoleon complex says,
is he talking about Trump?
I only got $5 trillion. When in reality, it's going from a monopoly to equality. The gun is what defends that transference or maintenance of wealth. You feel me? So if you don't have no guns, even if you got the guns, if you're not trained with them, they are. They are. You know, so you have to balance it that way. So that's the long answer. The short answer is those gun control laws are not about gun control. It's about people control. I read a quote that says, if gun control laws actually work, Chicago would be the safest place in America. And it's not. There's been more homicides in Chicago this year than Los Angeles and New York combined. It's where all of the gun control laws are. So clearly it's not working. Nobody's trying to educate people. They're trying to pretend or they're trying to judge. They're trying to shun. They're trying to make it look like the hood is just this war zone all of the time. When in reality, you're not dealing with the fact that you drop drugs off in these communities. You're not dealing with the fact that the socialization is horrible in these communities. You're not dealing with that. You're just saying we inherently are just these violent people. And you're scared of us. Okay, cool. Leave us alone. We got this. You know what I'm saying? Because we see what happens when y'all do your gun control thing. Then what about, law-abiding citizens that just want to be able to defend themselves from the foolishness? Now you're making laws that now they criminalize too. Because now that if they choose to say, look, man, I need to have a gun, it's crazy out here. Because they in it. Now you catch them with the gun, now they're a felon. And you grouping them with the scumbags. The guys that are active. When I say scumbag, I don't mean guys that court cases. I mean guys that are actively robbing people. Guys that are actively trying to sexually assault women. Those guys. You grouping them with those guys now. When they were just citizens trying to defend themselves from the scumbags. You know, it's something that I call a beautiful ugly. It's a very ugly intent, but the precision and the patience that goes along to apply this ugly is beautiful. It's beautiful. They are very patient, they are very resourceful, they are extremely smart, and they are highly invisible. We can beat them by exposure, we can beat them by just doing the thing. Gun control, and all of the people that's hearing me now, gun control. Your hood got to get behind breaking that spell. You have to get up under that by going and making the sacrifices. Do not go to the club. Spend that money on, firearm training. Do not buy them, $1,000 shirts. Spend that money on AR-15. Do not just watch things on
I
television.
love an AR-15.
Like, a fundamental tool for you as an American citizen is something that's not for you because you ain't white. That's game. That is game. They are trying to divide and conquer. It's game. It's the people. It's the people. It's us. Don't get caught in that. You know what I mean? And then you'll start to quickly see that the gun control has nothing to do with gun control. It has more to do with long-term people control and mental enslavement.
Yes. For those that are just now tuning in, Big City 101.3 FM, Waking Up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. We're currently on the air with Maj Toure, and he is out of Philly. Hashtag Black Guns Matter, Twitter, Black Guns Matter, Instagram, you can find him. He's available. Babies, as far as these phone lines are concerned, wait with me. Have a little bit of patience. I'm going to pull you up really quickly. Tayla, does your guest feel we're moving towards a national federal police force to circumvent the Second Amendment?
Yes. I mean, I can't say yes more emphatically. I mean, all evidence points towards it. Look at how you can't really tell the difference between an army guy and a police officer. They are heavily militarizing and making you can't tell the difference. A lot of cops now got the all black on like the SWAT teams used to have, only the SWAT teams. So yes, and that's why it's important that local. See, they make us focus on the federal election, even though your voice is not how the president is chosen. The president is not chosen by the popular vote. It's chosen by the election.
Trump, y'all keep voting all you want. Trump's president.
But at the end of the day, they make you. It's a bait. It's a bait and switch. Focus on that. Ignore local politics. Ignore state politics. When you ignore the state politics on the state level, if they can keep doing those laws and they get in agreement with the federal law anyway, the federal government is not. Each state is its own entity. The United States of America, and we come together to agree on certain things. But when I live in this state, what we choose to do in this state may not be what other states choose to do. When you lean so much on the federal government and the Federal Reserve Bank, which isn't a federal organization, when you lean on that,
if y'all don't know that, I don't know what to tell you.
Right, the governor and the sheriff is the highest authority in city and state government. Point being to that is, if you circumvent those guys because those guys want to kick back in federal dollars because they just want a payday, and you slowly start to make everything cool. So yes, slowly it starts to go towards, and if the states don't stand up, the people that live in those cities and those states stand up and go, no, we're not with this. The most crude example I can give is Las Vegas, in Nevada. Prostitution is legal there. The reason being, now people go, oh my God, that's disgusting. The beautiful ugly of that is, they decided to say, this is a victimless quote-unquote crime. This guy likes that girl. She wants to sleep with him. It's an exchange. No, it's an agreed-upon thing.
I love how educated y'all are.
People would say, oh, that's the worst. How is that? That's so horrible, blah, 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 blah. But that state decided to make a decision on something to that extent. So why can't we as individual states agreed to say, no, we want constitutional carry because we want it. That's the power. And if you're a politician that is not in agreement with what the people are saying and doing and want, you are not designed to serve in that particular state. Maybe you go move to a state where people want or are in alignment with what your views are, Mr. Whatever politician, Mrs. Whatever politician. So yes, it is a definite slow but steady, like the tortoise, walk towards a federal situation. And because we're not up on different state laws, we think it's just our city. Remember when cop cars used to be blue?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they all white now? You know what I'm saying? Like this is not an accident. These things are not like, oh, we're fashionable. We just wanted to switch the color. No, it's a design. But it's slow, and
gotcha.
If it's slow, you don't pay attention as much. So yes, the short answer to that question is yes, I do think that.
Really quickly, yesterday with that car accident, the deadly car accident, I saw a minivan with lights in the front and the back, and on top, I was like, hold up now, when did the minivan, like slide doors open minivan, racing through the streets? It made me think, like, really? Because if you try and pull me over, I'm driving. I'm not stopping. Some of the questions that came up, you said in the past that the war against the Second Amendment is won by attrition. What does that mean?
It's slow. It's just when you play chess, I may not be the best strategic dude, but one of the strategies could be I just slowly take one piece at a time, one piece at a time, one piece at a time, over time. And chess traditionally is a very long game. And you forget your move. The other person may forget the reason why you set a particular move up, and then I take this piece. If I take certain liberties and freedoms from you slowly, especially in the demographic that we from, where you wasn't even hit to that thing, you don't think that even affects you because you wasn't even told about it. That's part of the plan. One, make sure that everybody in these type of demographics, one, are not aware of this thing. Two, make sure that they don't get aware of it. Three, now work to eradicate it so it's not even a right for them anymore. Slow and steady, consistent working towards a goal. We have to do the same thing. We got to do it fast and slow. So we got to double bubble the fight. So when you win by attrition, it's a slow, steady encroachment towards a victory. Now we can know these things and still lose because we're not applying the same slow, steady attrition. They make us very microwavy. You don't stop to think, you know what? I'm just going to save my money and buy the car outright. They say, well, here, just give me this little bit, and you can have the car right now. But then over time, slowly, you were charged double the amount of the car in interest payment. It's in their interest to your, to your detriment. So they're winning or have for some time, for years. Entire 4 or 5 presidents at a time to get one agenda accomplished. So it's a very slow and steady process of winning based on ignorance and no exposure to what our plan is, I think.
Thank you, Maj. We have some of these comments over here on Facebook. Shout out to Tom. Tom, I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I think Tom is one of our only white listeners, but he supports like he's one of us. Absolutely love you for that. Raheem said, got my license to carry. Every black person in America that can should get theirs as well. Tom said, everybody get your license to carry and exercise your rights. Thelma said, but won't they make it harder for us to get licensed? Deja said, the Federal Reserve is owned by the Rothschild family. Levon said, the sheriff is the highest law elected official. Levon also said that, what is Maj's website so we can get ready to walk into work? There is no gold in the Federal Reserve. It just gets sent to the Queen. Tom said, whittling away at your rights piece by piece like Mara Haley in the state of Massachusetts and her reinterpretation of Massachusetts gun laws. If you don't know, I'm going to go ahead and post it on the Wake Up with TaylaAndre page, but y'all need to start reading about what's going on as far as your rights are concerned, and the fact that your rights are being taken away at every front. On every front. Your rights are being taken away as parents. Your rights are being taken away as far as gun owners are concerned. Your rights are being taken away as far as your food, your vaccines. Name it, your rights are being taken away. Levon said they are not cops. They are cars that say law enforcement. They are enforcers of policy. The word police is policy. Letter E and Y interchangeable, sound the same. We do have a call up. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah, he's 100% right. And I have to, sometimes when I'm speaking to a demographic, that's why sometimes on my Twitter you'll see LEOs, law enforcement officers, that they are not protectors of peace. They are not this cute thing that television told us. You know what I mean? They are foot soldiers to execute a policy. You know what I mean? To generate revenue, to control the people, to keep them in line. That's what they have turned into. So we got to be real. He's right there. Cop pretty much means take. Cop means to take. I'm going to say when people say, "Yeah, I'm about to cop the new Jordans," that's what cop actually means. And unfortunately, they take a lot of,
our rights.
Yeah. A lot of the policy. So he's right there. It was another question or another statement. As far as the brother saying everyone that can get their license to carry should, he's 100% correct. He's 100% correct, and I would take it a step further and say you need to get trained. You need to know what's the butt of the gun, what's the slide of the gun, what's the how many in my state, what is the magazine capacity that we're quote unquote allowed to have. I need to know what is the magazine, where's the magazine well. You know what I mean? How do I still strip my firearm? Why are people calling them guns and firearms? There's so many different things that you need to get well versed in. You don't have time to be at the club throwing dollars. I love beautiful women. I love them. I don't go to strip clubs. I don't have time. That's a distraction. It's game. You're literally throwing your money away that you could get a good AR for, a good Glock 19 for. Pay for some training. Get a gym membership. You know what I mean? If I'm wrong, if we're wrong, these crazy people that say these things, you know what I mean? Even though with all of the evidence pointing a certain way. If I'm wrong, you'll just have a good arsenal, you'll be in great shape, and you'll have a little extra couple grand laying around. If I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong. Okay? But if I'm right, if we're right that Black Lives Matter, and if you have no training, you have no firearm, how are you going to protect your family? If I'm right. So I would make sure that everybody that's, Facebook Living, please hit me up on Facebook. Let's link. Let's do some work. This can't just be church. This can't just be a feel-good morning drive conversation. It has to be something. We got to put something behind them words. You know what I mean?
Thank you. We do have a caller on the line. Good rising, caller, you're live.
Who are you, killer? I have to say thanks to the brother because I've been trying to get everyone to go take the class. But in Massachusetts, they won't issue a license till you take a course. It's a mandatory thing. You gotta get the course and pass it and bring them the certification to your local city or town that you live in, and then they'll do your background check, fingerprint, and all that, send it to the FBI, and then once they get all that, the result back, they issue your license for it. There's a brother that usually comes into our show still. I don't know his name, but he's pretty good teaching you the class and everything in there. So what I like to say is just everyone, if you clean, if you have a record, don't bother wasting your money because they're not going to give it to you. They're going to be 90 right off the bat. If you clean, ready, take the course, and then you'll have your license. Boston is not giving any license away, but if you live outside of Boston, go for it. All right? That's what I have to tell you, Taylor.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And he is absolutely right. We do have a gentleman that is here on the Wake Up with TaylaAndre show on a regular basis. His name is Firearm Fred. I was going to give that information at the end of the show, but I guess we are at the top of the hour. I didn't even realize how fast the time has flown, but he is on Facebook. His name is Firearm Fred. We went ahead and dubbed him. He goes to the Braintree Rifle and Pistol Club, and he will train you and get you ready to pass so you can get your firearm license. Again, Firearm Fred on Facebook. And I'll go ahead and I can't get his number because we're Facebook Living right now, but I'll go ahead and get his number and post that on Facebook so you can have that information as well. And I'll keep Facebooking and YouTubing live so you guys can get that as well. We currently have another caller on the line, 617-282-0062. Good rising, caller, you're live.
Good morning, Tayla.
Good rising.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I have a question. I took the course, but the gentleman was saying that you have a record, but my record basically got sealed. I never have any felonies. Am I still going to be qualified to take it to apply for it? Yeah, if you don't get the state you in.
We're in Massachusetts. Yeah, he's in Massachusetts.
All right, so first and foremost, Massachusetts is a may issue state, which means they can say no. You have to appeal and fight. A lot of states are what's called shall issue states. If you're not a prohibited person, you're going to give it to you. Massachusetts is a may issue. You know what I mean?
I love the way he says Massachusetts.
The authority that gives, is the local police chief for a lot of, jurisdictions. You know what I mean? Or the sheriff and things like that. So when you ask, the question is kind of loaded based on the fact that y'all got to, your state is game. Because it's a may issue, which is a direct, violation of the Constitution saying, the Second Amendment shall not be infringed. When you say that we are going to determine whether you may have one or not and you have no felony, that's a violation. What I would recommend is you start organizing and start organizing to turn that from a shall issue, a may issue to a shall issue state. That's number one. So your question being, you have it saying sealed and expunged off of that situation. Now, that means you actually did the work, because the thing isn't sealed and expunged just because the case is done. You have to actually get it sealed and expunged, or your lawyer, whatever. So if that part is done, and if you still are clean, in certain states that are may issue states, that person can say, well, no, we're not going to issue you one because you don't have an imminent threat on your life. And a lot of times the way to beat that is, if you're a business owner, like in Maryland, a lot of times, which is another, may issue state, a lot of times, if you're a business owner, they say, oh, okay, well, you got a business, so whatever, we'll give you one, So I'm just telling you those little gray areas there. So yes, you can be clean, you can have no felonies, and if you did the process, even if you were charged with a particular thing and it's sealed and expunged, if that is all in alignment, you can fill that out and they can still say no, because we are determining and saying that you don't need a license to carry, which is clearly game. The next fight for the people in those types of states is to get that overturned, get them from may issue state to shall issue state, and that's what we all have to do.
And you said to get in contact with you so we can turn a may issue state into a shall issue state. How can we reach you? How can we contact you? And how can we turn Massachusetts, which is blue, and we have Maura Healey, our Attorney General, who doesn't want you to have any gun rights at all. So next time, y'all know, Maura Healey does not need her office. She does not need her position. She needs to be voted out immediately. If you don't know, now you know. When you know better, you do better. Maura Healey, just so you remember. How can we contact you in order to turn Massachusetts into a may issue state into a shall issue state?
Okay, well, for one, you can hit me on any type of social media. My Facebook is Maj Toure, my name, first and last name. Same thing on Instagram, Twitter, our official Black Lives Matter website. You can hit us there, leave your contact and all of that. That's the first step. You can hit me and I'll link you with people. The other thing is, y'all governor, it's very interesting.
She's not the governor, she's the Attorney General. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, yeah, my fault, the Attorney General, excuse me. She's the one that just recently said, oh, for the last however many years, people in Massachusetts have been interpreting the law, this particular law, on what they call assault rifles. They've been interpreting it wrong. Then she just decided to make up the definition and then try to push through what, her thing is. Clearly, that's a slow walk towards an encroachment on your Second Amendment right. That's the attrition that we're talking about. You guys are literally in the middle of a step of an attrition chess move right now. You know, so as far as she's concerned, they start with AR-15s and they call them assault rifles. It's not what assault rifle. It's not an assault rifle. It stands for armor light. All right. Now, with that being the case, when these people, when you guys hit me up, I'll link you with people from other states that are in that, and then you can share resources. And then they'll link you with more people from your state that are doing it. You get what I'm saying? The reason being is because it's not just about Black Guns Matter as an organization and me. It's about how can we link people that it's a well-informed attack, and it's almost like a sneak attack. You can't really pinpoint it because those people are there consistently in that state, and it's not just, oh, well, you gotta wait till Black Guns Matter. No, you know. So if you hit me up on any social media, I'm gonna link you up with those guys, and girls and women, because that's a really key part. You know what I mean? A lot of times we repeat some of the same divisions, or we repeat some of the same sexist or non-tolerant policies, and we don't do that over here. You know what I'm saying? So yes, all of those forms of social media, hit me up. I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't care. You know what I mean? And so, yes, that brother that had that question, yes, hit me up in any way, shape, or form, and I'm going to link you with somebody.
Thank you so much. I want to give a huge shout out to Tom. Tom said that we also need to vote Charlie Baker out because he was in full support of Maura Healey's decision to encroach on my Second Amendment rights. And if you're on Twitter, please retweet. We need to vote Maura Healey out. Hashtag Black Guns Matter. Stop encroaching on my Second Amendment right. Hashtag assault rifles. Hashtag Mapoli. This is the first step. This is the first step. Go out, call Firearm Fred, and I did find the number. His number is 617-293-1011. Again, give Firearm Fred a call today. Go ahead and set up your exam or your. He does a whole hour of going through the motions, the laws, and then you go through another class and you learn about your gun. And if you want to learn how to take it apart and clean it and put it back together, he'll teach you how to do that as well. He is licensed for everything and anything, and he also trains police officers. Firearm Fred, 617-239, oh my gosh, dyslexia is real, 617-293-1011, again, 617-293-1011. Maj, I thank you for your time. I love you for all that you do. And I'd like to have real conversations with you in the future. If you don't mind, could we have you on again towards the end of the year, top of the new year?
Whenever you need me, just call me and I'm down.
Thank you so much. Thank you. One more time, how do we contact you?
Social media is the best way. At Maj Toure, MajToure, on Twitter and Instagram. Our official Black Guns Matter page is officialblackgunsmatter.com. And if anyone wants to support, we have the Black Guns Matter t-shirts and hoodies. It's hoodie season. You can go on, blackgunsmatter.bigcartel.com. You can support that way with a hoodie purchase or a t-shirt. And if you may not want to have the hoodie on. If you want to support, you can support our GoFundMe page. GoFundMe.com/Black Guns Matter, and that finances our information sharing and our 13 city tours that we're on right now, going to the actual places and giving out the information.
Is Boston on that list? Oh, for real? When?
I don't know yet. I never tell them until like a week or two before we go.
All right. Can you let me know 10 days before so I can have a little notice?
Yep.
All right, that works for me. One more time, because I'm looking for this hoodie, because I'd like one for myself. Black Guns Matter hoodie. Where can I find it at?
That is on, blackgunsmatter.bigcartel.com.
.big cartel?
Yeah. So look at blackgunsmatter.bigcartel.com. And anybody that's on my social media, if y'all forget the link, it's all over my social media.
Okay. Thank you so much, baby. I love you. I appreciate you. Hope you have an amazing day today.
Absolutely. You too.
I will. Big City 101.3 FM, waking up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. Again, it's blackgunsmatter.bigcartel.com. I'm looking for it right now so we can go ahead. Oh, I found a Facebook page. I want a Black Guns Matter sweater. Oh, Lord, I think I'm in love. Jesus! Y'all need to, I'm going to go ahead and share this page right now. And you guys get all the sweaters, hoodies. Could you imagine a whole bunch of Bostonians walking around with Black Guns Matter? Not just a t-shirt, baby, but that ID card in your wallet. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Do not forget this Saturday. It is going down. It is going to be amazing. It is going to be everything that we need. Everything. And I'm bringing out voter registration forms for the Dr. Umar Johnson, Dr. Claude Anderson event, Saturday, September 24th at the Strand Theater. Doors open at 1 p.m. We're closing them doors at 7 p.m. because I know you got concerts to get to. But you will have an opportunity for book signing and everything else. Tickets are currently on sale now online for $30. But if you wait until the last minute, baby, and wait until you get there, I promise you there will be more at the door. I want to give a huge shout out to my baby, Faith Naturals. Faith Naturals has a home. It is not called the Pum Pum Wash, y'all. It's called Faith's Naturals. She just has a product called the Pum Pum Wash. And it is at 66 South Street, JP, right down the street from Forest Hills. And she just got her key yesterday. I can't tell you as a real estate agent how happy it made me to see her happy. To see her glow, to see her excited, to see that the Pum Pum Wash now has a home. Faith's Natural now has a brick and mortar. Now, if we could only do that for the People's Academy today at 12 o'clock at City Hall, please, if you have the opportunity to, if you cannot, please send somebody else. City Hall at 12 p.m. Get there early, 11:45. 12:45 is probably the time I'll get there because, you know, I'm late to everything. I'm going to be, the Grand Reaper's going to be like, yep, Taylor's dying at this time. And 2 weeks later, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm late. I know you made plans for me and everything, but do not forget today, 12 p.m. at City Hall. We are meeting to support the People's Academy, T. Michael Thomas. As far as Andrea Campbell is concerned, I haven't heard anything. That's why you haven't heard me say anything. But we are going today, so hopefully we'll be able to see her today and be able to report something tomorrow. Aside from that, there was something else I was supposed to tell you, but if anything, I'll just go ahead and post it on Facebook. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to play it one more time because that baby had my heart all the way hurting. This is from The Talk. This was a discussion that was had on The Talk, and then I'm going to go ahead and play that song, #NoDapple, because there is no reason why we, the United States, thinks it's okay to violate treaties, why we, the United States, thinks it's okay to violate sacred land, why we, the United States, are not fighting in solidarity with Standing Rock to say, no, you're not putting a pipeline in North Dakota through sacred land, through native land, through treaty land. We should be fighting and standing in solidarity with our people. I'll go ahead and play that Stuart James for you. Please support him. Please support Black Guns Matter. Go out and get your license. Call Firearm Fred. Let's do this, baby.
Well, I mean, I wish any of us could answer that question, right? This is like a new low to me. It's so disheartening that he didn't have a weapon, he didn't have any drugs, he didn't have any behavior that was alarming. His arms were up. I don't understand. There was like practically 7 police officers there or something. Why this officer could have interpreted this as a threat is so beyond me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe too often there is paid leave. I don't know if it needs to be, prosecuted when someone uses such poor judgment like this. I mean, that's the only thing I can do.
I think there are 2 things to think about, which is, first of all, as you said, he was complying. He was tasered. You can't tell from these videos, but what it seems like, and this is allegedly, is that he was actually shot when he was already on the ground, which is really alarming. We also remember a recent case, and I don't have the names, I think it was in Florida, of a guy who was a therapist working with a guy with autism.
Yes.
He's on the ground, on his back with his arms raised, and they shoot him anyway. And when he asked the cop, why'd you shoot me? The cop said, I don't know.
Right.
So what we have is, look, this is hard to talk about. This is hard stuff to talk about, but we have a legacy of racism in this country. And if we don't start calling it racism, then we can't fight it. We have to see what it is. Cops have to be trained differently. If this had been,
You don't have to train the police not to shoot white people. Why you gotta train them not to shoot us?
I love her. I love her.
everything has to be confronted. Because when you see I was a high-speed chase recently in LA with a Caucasian woman. She went through several counties. She ran into cars. She ran up on the road. When they took her out of the car, they gently removed what looked like a cell phone and gently handcuffed her. If that had been a black man, he would have been face down on the pavement without one second of conversation. We have to change how we see each other, and we cannot do that until we say what it is, which is that racism and fear of black men specifically drives these shootings. We have to change as a nation.
Fundamentally, but I know we gotta go to break. But first thing you gotta do, you gotta make it a hate crime. You gotta put people in jail. When you shoot somebody under the color of authority, you need to lose your job, and you need to lose your livelihood, and you need to lose your freedom. Like every other American loses their freedom. That's right. Need to be consequences, but remember, there are good police officers out there, and the ones that are not, they need to go to jail. They need to go to jail, and don't tell me this. We got to train. Y'all white. Y'all drive all the time and don't nothing happen to y'all, and we black. And I'm afraid to drive my damn car because if they don't know who I am, I could be shot. Until y'all feel that, this ain't never gonna stop. Until you all that are not black and stand with us, this is not going to stop.
Like the way it is right now with us, with the water situation, is because anything could happen, and it's like, what if they come in and try to take us off, and besides that, everybody should have water. I mean, God gave it to the land, and we have a right to it. He didn't give it to the United States government. We've got a bigger point than that. We're saying, we're talking about law. We're talking about respect as a people. Respecting a people as a people. We're talking about more than poverty. We're talking about honor. We're saying, you've never dealt with us honorably, United States, ever. And it's time that you start doing so, because we're not going to allow it to continue. We can't. Problems for the Indian people are within the United States government. Problems that we're having is the federal government is allowing the state government to break a treaty that was signed between the Indians and the Indian people and the federal government. That treaty is a law. We're talking about things like this. We're talking about, if we're free, we want the right to make our own decisions. We don't want the great white father image anymore looking down on us, making the decision for us. And we're concerned about people, the reservation people on the reservations that are being forced to assimilate or die out. We're worried about things like our language and our culture. And we want this on our own terms. We don't want to be able to hang on to it because the federal government says we can keep this much and we can keep that much. It's part of us. And we want it all.
My people been fighting before I was born. I line up this safe right before I record. Them company broke all the treaties before. This time around we won't take it no more. Wanna find us, we'll be standing with our fist time. They tried to kill us off, it'll never happen this time. Wanna find us, we'll be standing with our fist time. They tried to kill us off, it'll never happen this time. Let me paint a picture that can wash away the ignorance. Play it through the speakers just to make sure that they listen. And we treat it like prisoners in this country that we living in. Everything is fine to the dawn that we swimming in. Companies are acting like this new one is unlimited. Ignore repercussions just cause they don't have to live with it. Let me come and dig a hole up in your front yard. Guaranteed it won't be long before this cop car. Saying that we hostile cause we chose to make a stand. When the oil starts to spill it won't desecrate the land. These companies don't care because it's all part of the plan. 7th generation, man, the future's in our hands. The reason that we fighting is
treaty. Our children gonna suffer while the high-class kids go to school and eat the weenies. If this line gets finished, then our water will be ruined. The general population never saw us as a human. Obama said that he would help us out, but
Where they at though?
that's a fact, bro. They set up blockades, but we headed on the back road. Forget about the president and governments that ever since the cops are feeling threatened and remove us from the premises. All of us have oil in a couple billion Benjamins. Hey man, it's nothing new. My people been fighting for generations now. We've been here. We ain't going nowhere. People need to wake up. This ain't about money. This about the future generation. It's about the children right now. Shout out to everybody in Standing Rock. Shout out to all the tribes that came from across the nation. Shout out to Chairman Archambault. Shout out to all my Standing Rock family. Shout out to all the natives across the nation. Shout out to Shailene Woodley for standing in solidarity with our native people. Shout out to all the celebrities who are supporting the movement. Shout out to everybody across the world who is supporting the movement. Shout out to everybody who is listening right now. Ain't nobody moving till this is over. We ain't going nowhere, we still here. Native Pride 365.
Yep, right, baby, you know what it is? It's DJ Sus One, the feature presentation. Listen, make sure you wake up with TaylaAndre Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Big City 101.3 FM. Wake up with the Radio Rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. This is the type of stuff I'm into, alright? Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
Hey, what's going on? It is Sly King, all the way in Birmingham, Alabama, and there's really only one way to wake up and start your morning every single day, and that is with my girl TaylaAndre on Big City 101.3 FM. Big City.
You guys enjoyed the show? His name is Stuart, S-T-U-A-R-T, James. Stuart James, hashtag no dapple, N-O-D-A-P-L, dapple, D-A-P-L. And you can find it on YouTube. I pulled it off of YouTube. It wasn't sent to me, so you'll be able to pull it off of YouTube as well. Again, Stuart James, S-T-A-U-R-T, James. And on Twitter, he is Stuart James 365. If you want to find him on Twitter and follow him on Twitter, again, Stuart James 365, Standing Rock. If you want to hashtag Standing Rock, it just... I love today's show. I loved today's show. And I forgot to ask. And let's see if we can actually make a phone call real quick. Because I have a question in regard to... Hold on. Yo, dyslexia is so real. If y'all don't know the struggle... Peace. Maj, I have one more question. We're currently we're not live on air, but we're live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube. And one of the questions that I wanted to ask you that I didn't have time to ask was about the NRA and whether or not the NRA wanted some type of partnership with you, or have they ever reached out to you? Like, as the National Rifle Association and Black Guns Matter, is there any type of solidarity there?
Well, the NRA has had me on the Cam and Co., which is a prominent show for NRA TV. I've been on there. I communicate with Colion Noir, who's a brother that's doing tremendous work over at the NRA. Antonio Okafor, who's also a correspondent for the NRA, came down to our Black Guns Matter tour in Baltimore. So, yes, we've been supported in that sense by the NRA, but no, ain't nobody cutting no check. Ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying, in the sense of, because a lot of people go, oh, well, how do we know that the NRA, you're not just a puppet? No, we're financed totally by the people, but do we have a great relationship with the NRA? Yes. I think the other thing that I wanted to touch on too, I think what happens a lot of times is people, they have this misconception that, oh, the NRA is just a bunch of white guys. Yes, their membership is generally white dudes because a lot of that information has been isolated to the white community, and they just decided to say, okay, we're going to join with the NRA. I think that I'm a member of the NRA. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes a thing where we got to use the resources that they present. It's a Second Amendment group. It's a civil rights group. It's the largest one for the Second Amendment in the world. So yes, they have been supportive energetically. Allowing me to utilize that platform. I just wrote an article for their main magazine last week, America's First Freedom. I got a feature coming out in, I think, October. I'm not sure, but yes, they've been extremely supportive. They ain't asking me for well, we need you to do this. They ain't asking me for none of that. They just see that what we doing, and they've been supportive of it. And I ain't asking them for no paper. They ain't try to get me to get no paper and be like, look, we want you to say this. None of that has happened. And there ain't really a number that I could put on that. Now, I ain't selling my people out for nothing, and they haven't asked me to sell anything out. That's been the beauty of the situation. They respect the work. They've been supportive and giving me a lane, and it's been a good relationship.
Beautiful, beautiful. I don't have any other questions, but there is a statement that was made on Facebook about whether or not blacks have manufacturing in gun shops. Do you know about that and how we can get into that industry?
Yeah, we actually have I have a list that we're working on, and I'm going to put it up on the website. Pardon that I can't give the specific answer now because I don't know them off the top of my head because I'm having a rough time finding them myself. Because that's a game. Look, every game that we in, we want in on it. You know what I'm saying? This is very similar to the streets for me. So if it's guns being made and manufactured and distributed and sold from the point of origin to the point of sale, we want in on that game. So the people that are separated and scattered that's participating in that game on certain levels, we want to put together a comprehensive list. Blacks, literally, no pun intended, blacksmiths, gun dealers, guys that have that, that FFL, all those different things. We put in that list together, and I'm definitely going to make it available to everybody. But it's few of them, but they're scattered, but it needs to be more, So we're going to organize it and then send it out so people can put the pieces together and maybe from point of origin to point of sale, make their firearm purchases that way.
That's dope. That's dope. And for those that are watching and listening, I want to remind you that Firearm Fred's number is on the Facebook page. So, Maj, I'm currently on the official Black Guns Matter page, and I have found the GoFundMe, but I have yet to find the link so I can get me a hoodie.
Oh, all right. Real quick, type this in. I don't know where that's at, but where is it at? You ready?
Yes.
It's Black Guns Matter dot Big Cartel BIGCARTEL.com. And let me know when it comes up.
I found it. So for those that currently are not in this, who didn't type it in their link, the Black Guns Matter hoodie is $40. The t-shirt is $25. The hoodie is $40. The t-shirt is $25. And I'll go ahead and post this on the Wake Up with TaylaAndre page. Maj, I'm sorry for interrupting, but I do thank you. I love you and I appreciate you. And if you don't mind, I would like to send you a text message so I can send you Firearm Fred's information, so you can go ahead and add him to that blacklist, pun intended.
Yep, I totally would.
All right, thank you so much.
All right.
Peace. Hallelujah! I'm getting my Black Guns hoodie today, boo. Also, we can't go to war if we don't own and manufacture our own bullets. I didn't even think about it like that. Well, we are all the way to the top of the hour, and I am going to Gillette tonight to go slave. So, I need a nap. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And for the ones who like that shirt, with the B hat on the side. Anything over here? I don't know. I just wear them. This shirt is absolutely amazing. I actually got it from Everything Is Real. Shout out to Allah. What is it? Arm, leg, arm, head. Shout out to Allah. Everything Is Real barbershop in Roxbury, right next to the fire station. If you go in there, he has this shirt and so many others. The Roxbury Against Gentrification. You can ask him to make a Dorchester against gentrification, Mattapan against gentrification. Damn, y'all took South End against gentrification. So, and if you have any other ideas, he makes shirts, whatever you need, let him know. But look at that B hat though. Pray for the stripes. I don't think YouTube can see it. Can y'all see it? There it is. Don't look at my stomach. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you guys have an amazing day today. I feel good. Yeah. I really enjoyed tomorrow's Freaky Friday, so you already know what it is.